and Brownie.
The podcast.
Well, good morning to you, Melbourne. It is Monday.
It is Monday, absolutely. It's a sad weekend in the passing of Shane Warne, the legendary Warney. We'll talk about him next. Swanee will go through it in detail. And throughout the morning, it'll be a bit of a shame.
It was such a shock, wasn't it, on Saturday morning?
So you guys woke up, check your phones?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. It was an absolute shock. Friday night, it was after Friday night, it was, I went to Amy Shark.
Oh.
I took Liv to Amy Shark at
What a
Rod Laver.
moment.
Jeez, it was good to be back out and about at a concert, Swanee.
Absolutely.
Well, it's been forever
You
since we've
forget
done
how
that.
good live music is.
It was great. You know, she knocked out Mr. Brightside.
Yes.
Just a little cover of Mr. And the crowd went absolutely off.
Yes.
And so we're in great seats, and obviously she finished with a big banger. Tullamore said hi with that to finish it off. You know, it was in the crowd right in front of us.
Ding dong.
No, it wasn't Ding Dong.
Shane Warne.
The second, no.
With a V.
The third highest profile person in Melbourne, behind those two previous mentioned names.
Molly Melbourne.
Seb Costello.
Tones and I.
Oh, yes.
So, and she's obviously distinctive, Swanee, in what she wears.
Yes.
And she has the cap on, that long hair. And Liv was just so distracted. My daughter was so distracted by the fact that Tones and I was just right in front of us.
Yes.
She's going, Dad, can I go and get an autograph? I don't know. You know, there's heaps of kids already lined up for that. So she didn't, but I reckon she took about 500 photos.
Just to the back of her head.
Just to the back of her head.
Imagine her bragging to her mates about her night out.
Absolutely. So Amy Shark, how good was that? Great to be back out and alive.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. It's time to make up for missed holidays with whatif.com.
Book the spa, suite, jet skis, maybe even a safari. Plus, select hotels are fully refundable. Booking cancellation windows apply.
What if it's Aussie for travel? Check government advisories before booking and travelling.
Terribly sad passing of Shane Warne. Yeah, I knew Warney. I wouldn't say I was close friends with him like a lot of people in this town, Swanee, and in our universe. But he was a lovely fella. Lovely to always great with kids. He's great to the common man. I think that's why he was loved, Swanee.
Yeah, he was so beloved, wasn't he?
Absolutely. He was a bogan from Black Rock.
Yep.
Loved the Gasper. Loved Vegemite. You know, his last meal at a beautiful Kosamui villa was Vegemite on toast with his mate.
Yes.
He said, how good's Vegemite?
There's nothing greater.
Anywhere. Vegemite with butter on toast.
Yes.
Oh, God.
So he was sort of the common man. Actually, Kerry Packer early days. So when he burst onto the scene in the 90s, he bought himself a blue Ferrari.
Silver.
No.
Oh,
it was blue Ferrari
sorry.
originally. So he always had a bit of flash about him. So Kerry Packer had just given him a Channel 9 contract while he was playing and pulled him aside one day at the Crown Casino for a coffee and said, hey, mate, get rid of the blue Ferrari. You know, it doesn't relate to the common man. Sell it and buy yourself a Holden
Yeah.
so people can relate to you. And then people don't think you're a big head. So he said, yes, no worries, Mr. Packer. So he went and bought himself a Holden and a silver Ferrari. Sold the blue Ferrari.
Fantastic.
So he did the right thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's hilarious. The level of fame, Swanee, this is a good one for his level of fame. He's huge in England. Yeah, huge around the world. His body got a police escort yesterday in Thailand. And Thailand's not really a cricketing nation for 70 kilometres. But in England especially, it was huge. Elton John was once asked if you could come back as somebody else, who would it be? He said, I'd come back as Shane Warne.
Wow.
And when Warney was asked about that story, he goes, yeah, that's true. You know who else said it? And they said, who? He said, Mick Jagger.
Really?
Mick Jagger and Elton John both said they want to come back as Shane Warne.
Gosh, that's so interesting.
He's real good mates with Chris Martin, too. From
Best
Coldplay.
mates with Chris Martin, absolutely. Played golf with Kid Rock.
What?
So he knew everyone. He just knew everyone. So I think he's sort of from presidents to the Brickies labourer, Swanee. Yeah, no, he was sort of friendly with those. I remember once in the, took him to the, yeah, so just on that with the kids. Oh, yeah, the Southern Stand's going to be renamed. So that's
Yes.
a pretty big honour, isn't it?
Huge.
It's been called the Southern Stand since 1992. It'll now be probably the SK Warne Stand, I would have thought.
Shane Keith.
Shane Keith. And that's where he dominated. I went to the cricket several times and watched him. So I was in the Southern Stand when he got his 700th wicket.
What were you?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're there the morning, Boxing Day morning. So 700, he was the first man to reach 700, Swanee. And this morning there was great anticipation. And he came on after about 40 minutes because the fast bowlers normally start bowling and then Warney came on. Great anticipation. But at that stage, we're starting to fill up on the beers. Boxing Day morning. So obviously the toilet was calling.
Yes.
So you would see this mad dash. So Warney would bowl you over. There would you could easily get a spot in the toilet. And then Warney would finish you over and there'd be a mad dash to the toilet. Go. So everyone was sprinting to the toilet.
He was the headline act.
And then trying to get back before Warney started his next over because he didn't want to miss his 700th.
Yeah.
And then finally, when he got the 700th that morning, the crowd went absolutely bunter. So that was pretty exciting, Swanee. I can't remember the rest of the day.
No.
Quite ironic, all the beer bottle tributes because he didn't like drinking beer.
Oh, didn't he?
Nah, he wasn't a big drinker, Swanee. Loved a gasper.
Yeah.
What about the gasper story about he was paid $200,000 by Nicorette to get through 30 days without having a gasper.
Right. Yeah.
And there's two of the West Indies, and on the last night in a bar, one night to go, at a bar at the West Indies, someone's taken a photo of him with a gasper.
One more night.
One more night. I'm surprised to hear that he didn't like beer because there's my favourite photo of a celebrity ever taken of him with a glass of beer with his entire mouth around it.
Yeah,
I love
hilarious.
that photo.
I love that
Hilarious
photo.
I love it. But so he had time for everyone. So the kids, I met him with the kids, and this shows how much time he'd give to kids and to the common man. I went into the commentary box for a Big Bash game, so me and my mate I think there was 8 kids between us. So we went up and we sat in the game. It was the Stars versus the Renegades at Marvel Stadium. And then they said, you can bring the kids into the commentary box. So we bring the kids into the commentary box. Your man Gilly was there, Swanee.
Yes, Adam Gilchrist.
Adam Gilchrist. Of course, you and him hosted the Formula One coverage.
Second name synonymous with Formula One.
which is astonishing still.
Still
astonishing. So they are calling the game. And Warney's, bring the kids in. This is on air. No, get the kids in here. He's talking to the kids while he's commentating the over and taking selfies and photos with the 8 kids in the commentary
Who
box.
says men can't multitask?
Absolutely. Well, he could multitask, Swanee. I've never seen a man multitask with a mobile phone and hold a conversation.
He was wicked on the mobile phones, that's for sure. He knew his way around there.
Yes, he did.
Absolutely. So just a few observations of Warney, the great man.
It's so surreal that we're talking about Shane Warne in the past tense.
Yeah.
It's so
it is.
odd.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jeez, he packed a lot into those 52 years, Swanee.
He did.
Valo.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Yeah, terribly sad news on the weekend of the passing. It was Rod Marsh on Friday, legendary wicketkeeper for Australia, and then Saturday morning we woke up. I thought it was one of those those prank text messages saying Warney's died. He's 52 years old. But he has. It's a terrible, terrible tragedy. Gone too soon, absolutely. You know, I knew him reasonably well, but not as close as this man, Campbell Brown, who was one of his close mates and spent plenty of time with him on the road and in this great town. How are you, Brownie?
Yeah, it's been a tough 48 hours, JB, as you can imagine. It hit everyone pretty hard, just with the suddenness of it all. And the man that loved life so much is no longer going to be with us. It's tough. He was a great Australian and a great mate.
Have you been reminiscing on all the great times that you had with your friend Shane Warne?
Yeah, you do. You naturally go through some old photos, and we're in a WhatsApp chat group with all the poker crew, and been sending through some vision and photos of some of the great memories at Warney's place, playing poker over the journey. And you always loved going around there because you knew you were going to be spending 5 or 6 hours, with great mates, just having a laugh, and just very humorous times, telling stories, watching the footy or the cricket, and enjoying them.
Campbell, I didn't know Shane Warne, and I'm not a cricket fan, but I've got kids. I immediately went, oh my God! Imagine losing your father so suddenly. How are the kids?
They're obviously pretty shocked, and I think everyone are thinking of the 3 kids and the rest of the family. But Brooke, Summer, and Jacko were Warney's life. He was always talking about them, so proud of them. Going to watch their sport, and played a hell of a lot of poker with Jacko. I think he taught him everything he knew because he's a very good poker player too, and would involve them in everything that he did. So, yeah, they're going to do it tough.
Now, Brown Dog, did you ever clean him up on the because he was a bit of a card shark, Warney. But
He was very good.
I know, but did you ever clean him up on the home table, mate?
A couple of times, not as many times as I would have liked. We'd always go around there and you try and take the king down, and he was so competitive. In everything he did, he wanted to win, whether it was playing table tennis, playing pool, playing poker. He loved his golf. He always enjoyed putting a wager on the line in anything he did, and quite often he ended up winning it.
Dog, can you share with us any memories or anything he said to you that makes you smile?
Oh, when you're on the blackjack table and you get to 16, it's always a hard number because no one really knows what to do. Do you hit or not? And him and Michael Gudinski, they would always say their saying was just wave and pray. So you just wave it off and pray for the best and hope you can hit a 5 or something like that. But he was just a great bloke.
Dog's heating up the milk for his kids in the background.
The thing that we all idolised Warney as the cricketer, but I think the reason that we all loved him as a bloke was just because of how good a man he was. He was extremely charitable. He obviously had his Shane Warne Foundation for years and raised millions of dollars for sick and underprivileged children. Remember only 3 or 4 years ago, he auctioned off his baggy green cap for $1 million when the bushfires came through, and that's one of his most prized possessions. But he knew that there was a greater cause for it, and if he could raise money for a charity or help out a cause, he was always the first to do that. And he was very loyal to his mates. He loved his kids, and he was always just Shane. He never tried to be someone he wasn't. He had fun and he was the life of the party, and you were just drawn to him because you knew that if you were around Shane Warne anywhere in the world, you were going to be having a good time.
Hey, Brown Dog, much similar to you, I find this funny, all the beer bottle tributes, people leaving empty beer bottles around, but he didn't like beer like yourself.
Yeah, he wasn't a big beer drinker. He liked the lolly water, the vodka Red Bulls. He loved his gin, obviously. He had the gin company.
Hey, that's a good gin. I had a gin last night of his.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 708 gin. It's a good gin.
Yeah, absolutely. And he loved a glass of nice red wine. So there was always plenty of that on offer. When his hospitality was legendary, not just the poker nights, but he'd throw New Year's Eve parties. And one of the great things about Warney is when you went around there, you never knew who was going to walk through the door. There were some days we'd go around for a poker night and Brian Lara would be sitting at the table, or Ed Sheeran would roll in after a game of footy last year. We had a great night with Ed down there in Warney's in his cellar, and Chris Martin from Coldplay would just pop around for a barbecue on a Sunday, with the family. So he was larger than life, and while he was a great cricketer here in Australia, he was like a global icon for what he did off the field.
Hey, did you ever face him in the net? Did you ever bowl a flipper at you?
Just on the cricket, on the tennis court out the backyard down in Portsea a few summers ago. How'd
you see him? See him all right?
I closed my eyes and I hit the first one, but I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And then he got serious, as he do, and I think he bowled me the next 3 deliveries with the flipper, the wrong and the googly. So,
is it true you hear a fizz, Brown Dog, when it's coming at you?
You do. It's a little bit harder to hear the fizz with a tennis ball, but I reckon the tennis ball spins more than a cricket ball, so it's even harder to pick.
I love the interview he did recently. He reckons his sausage fingers. He had these fat little sausage fingers, didn't he, Doggy? He reckons that was his greatest gift because that helped him impart so much spin on the ball.
Yeah, and watching his documentary, which is really strange because I only did that a couple of weeks ago, and he claims that when he broke both his legs as a kid, he physically had to get around by dragging himself along the ground, right, like digging his fingers into the dirt and pulling himself along, and it strengthened up his wrist and his fingers. And he doesn't know for a fact if that was the case of what made him a great spinner, but he reckons that it helped.
Wow.
Wow.
There you go. Good on you, dog.
We love you, man. We'll speak more about this on Brownie's podcast. We'll try and dig up some stories.
Absolutely, we will, for sure. Brown Dog will have plenty of them.
Yeah, cheers. He was a great man. Rest in peace, Warney. We're all thinking of the family, and look, life won't be the same without him.
See you, dog. Love you, man.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
Morning, Melbourne. Welcome to your Monday. Welcome to the microphone, Samuel Pang.
Good morning, Christine. Hello, Brownie. Dino.
Hello.
Melbourne.
I imagine that you had a very busy weekend talking all Shane Warne stuff with your sportsman friends.
Well, I think you summed it up best earlier on. It's funny you just said it was surreal. From didn't see you Friday. I think so. Rod Marsh passed
Marsh,
away. I hadn't seen you
shocking.
since that, and then Warney, which no one can believe. And,
No.
it's just there's nothing you can say.
It's
Just
shocking.
nothing you can do. But we're going to try to, we'll have a good show this morning. Have plenty of guests. We'll
Absolutely.
have a good balance. Jackie Charles put together a very well balanced show, which will cover all the big things.
Absolutely. No, it'd be good. Rod Marsh passed on Friday. Remember, famously, he held the beer drinking record on a flight from Sydney to London before Booney. It's 45
Was
cans.
it him, was it?
45 cans.
Whoa.
And then they had to escort him on one of those baggage trolleys off the plane, out the back door.
Hackett style.
Grant Hackett style. The Grant Hackett Express.
Ever wanted to offer the team some direct feedback? Well, you can. Shoot us an email at breakfast@nova100.com.au to be part of Chrissie, Sam and Brownie's mailbag. This is what happened over the weekend. News, sport, drama and entertainment. It's the weekend it was with Sam and Pang.
Well, it is just all the sadness, Swanee, and
It
the
is
passing of Shane
terrible.
Warne. And you said it earlier. It was just surreal to wake up Saturday morning for that news. And
Shocking.
what can you say? You did
It's funny how they come together. Remember when Peter Brock and Steve Irwin died? I think within 24 hours or 48 hours. Same thing here with Rod Marsh and Shane Warne, same sports.
You mentioned earlier that there will be his family's accepted a state funeral. The Great Southern Stand will be renamed SK Warne Stand.
Rightly so, too.
It's a pretty good effort. For all there was such a he fit a bit in, as you said, Brownie. Recognised as one of the 5 greatest cricketers ever to play the game. If you think about how many cricketers have played the game, for him to be in the top 5, and then also for us to see him, because they talk about Bradman.
Yeah, that's
Swanee.
right.
I never saw Bradman play.
No.
You know what I mean? We were lucky enough to see him.
He was Victoria's greatest cricketer.
Absolutely.
In the course of time, you think over the course of Test cricket, Swanee, 150 years to be the greatest cricketer from this state.
There were a lot of tributes and from tweets, but to full articles. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
there was so many words that popped up, but distinctly Melbourne. There's Warney, and then he's from our town as well.
Yes, I
Not like
know.
from Sydney or Brisbane
Yeah.
or it's like he was Melbourne, and there's so many stories about just everyday, ordinary things with Warney, where people are at a pizza place and he's just there with his kids having a pizza.
Yeah.
It's like he was very. But you said earlier, Brandon, he could hang out with royalty.
I
he
never
could
saw
hang-
him in the wild.
Right.
Didn't see him.
Nah,
I never met him. Did you ever meet him,
I don't think so.
Brownie?
Yeah, a lot. But he's a knockabout. He was flashy. He could knock about with rock stars, but he also relate to the bricky.
Well, I
or
think
the
that
kids.
that's shown by some of the tributes too. By the way, cricketing royalty obviously all paid their respects. Border, Ponting, Gilchrist, McGrath, Viv Richards, Ian Botham, Sachin Tendulkar, etc. But then also there was Prime Ministers of Australia, Prime Ministers of the UK, Ed Sheeran, Stephen Fry, and Mick Jagger. You're going, it's a fair cross section. It wasn't just he did transcend the sport.
Said to Swanee, the level of fame was pretty big when Elton John and Mick Jagger, when both are asked the question of if you could come back as somebody else, they both answered Shane Warne.
Yeah,
that was not in his passing. That was, years gone by. They've said that.
The morning
Hugely
He
famous.
obviously had a
Open-
very good time.
he had a good time. That was the other thing too.
The British tabloids loved him. Over there, they used to have a bit of fun with him.
Hey, will the state funeral be at the G? Do we know?
That's what they're thinking.
Right.
And that day he took 700 wickets at the Boxing Day Test. I was there as well, Brand.
Were ya?
We were in the same. Oh yeah,
In the same area.
Even I, not overly sentimental, Swanee, described as cynical. Even I had an appreciation of it's going to be good to say I was there for Warney's 700th
Yes.
wicket because no one had
Absolutely.
ever done it before. Warney does it at his home ground at the MCG. Like, it was a lot
That's
of
a moment.
It
Absolutely.
was.
Yeah.
It's also, let's not forget too, by the way, that
A lot of big things happened at the MCG in his career. Well, you think he got a hat-trick there in a Boxing Day test.
Yeah.
He also emerged as what would be Australia's linchpin bowler for the next 15 years when he got Richie Richardson out against the Great West Indies team. They were the best team in 20 years, and everyone just thought Warney was this chubby kid from Blackrock who smoked ciggies and ate Vegemite on toast and was no good. And then he bowled Richie Richardson,
By the
captain
way,
of the West
everything
Indies.
you said there was true, apart from he's
Absolutely.
no good. Yeah.
Except he bowled him with a very famous ball called the flipper. And from that point on, he exploded into superstardom, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that was at the MCG as well. So it was a lot of things happened at that ground.
You know, a mate of mine was at the G once, and they were warming up, and Warney was kind of close by, when they were just doing fielding practice. And my idiot mate yelled out, "Hey, Warney!" And because Warney was chewing gum, he goes, "Can I have some of your chewy?" Right? But Warney mustn't have heard him and looked around and goes, "As in, what did you say, mate?" And walked over to the fence. And I think Warney thought my mate had kind of, giving him. And my mate just said, "I just wonder if I can have some of your chewy." And then Warney gave him some of his chewy.
Oh, that's great. What a great story. Was it Nicorette?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, in that the SK Warne stand, the great stuff, you should be allowed to smoke in that stand.
Yes.
Old school.
I think so.
Great. There's that beautiful photo of him bowing to the crowd during his last Test match.
I love that.
His last ever Test match in the SCG. It's just magnificent. But let's not forget, you talk about a full life. The cricketing thing as well, and the fun he had. Little TV career too. Just popped up on a couple of big shows, Kath and Kim and Neighbours. Mm-hmm. And then also he had a variety. He had his own talk show.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, James Packer, Michael Parkinson, Chris Martin, Sting, and Danny Minogue.
Oh, that's right.
With a guest.
It didn't last long from
memory.
memory.
But he still got to do it. Then he was the definition, it seems as though, if you could not help but like him if you met him. That's what everyone said. But then these are the words I'll finish with this. These are all the words from the weekends from articles and tributes. Icon, legend, genius, showman, bogan, larrikin, genuine artist, magician, kind, larger than life, irreplaceable, gone too soon.
Wow. Good adjectives.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast. Michelle Brasier, a comedian, and you may have seen her on TV with shows like How to Stay Married, Sean McCarllis Mad as Hell, and just heaps of Auntie Donna stuff. Also, check her out on YouTube with her incredible mashups. You can see Michelle's show Reform at the Arts Centre from April 1. Tickets at comedyfestival.com.au. Here's Brasier.
Welcome, Michelle Brasier. Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's always good to be here.
Now, we're gearing up for one of the best comedy festivals ever. I'm going to say that.
Ooh.
Every time we've had a comedian in recently and we've said, "How's your show going?" They've gone, "Yeah, no, it's good." And then away from the mic, they're rolling their eyes. They're looking, going, "Don't ask me about it. It's not ready." How is your show shaping up?
It's good, much better than all of theirs. Yeah,
Okay.
the only one you'd book, I reckon.
Sure, we'll get to comedyfestival.com.au for tickets.
Reform, it's called, Brace.
Yes, Reform. Yes, it's about, I bought a Pilates reformer online from a guy who did not give it to me. But then my scammer became my friend. So it's about his reform and my lack of reformer.
How did he scam you without giving away too much? How did he rip you off?
So I paid him the money, which was obviously that's my bad. I should not have done that, but I paid him the money up front. He never sent it. And then I thought about calling the police, but instead what I did was interrogate him psychologically to figure out how he'd gotten to this point in his life. And then I, met a lot of his friends, spoke to his friends and other people he'd scammed. It's just interesting.
Is his name Peter Foster?
No.
Was it Tinder swindler?
It's not him, no.
So many of his friends were scammers as well. Was it like a big community that you discovered?
No, his friends called me because I talked about it on the radio while I was going through it, and they called and got in touch and were like, "Here's all these things that he's done to these other people and girlfriends of his," and I just was there for him. I became his emergency contact. I was the only person.
I just love how crafty he is because he knows a reformer is a Pilates reformer is a very specific product that's going to attract a very
Yes.
specific buyer.
I think he's a feminist scammer. I'm saying it.
Yeah.
Wait,
think so.
Do reformers look like those rowing machine things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lie on them.
They're
They've
great.
got pulleys and all that sort of stuff. I'm still traumatised by them from my football days. I haven't been on one since I retired 7 years ago.
Oh, no.
I spent hours and hours on those bloody things.
Did you fall off?
No, I never fell off, but I feel like a lot of wasted hours on them. Yeah, really, what am I doing here? I'm trying to be a killer on the football field, and I'm there in my leotards doing reformer work during the weekdays.
Why did you wear leotards is my main question. I didn't wear
You didn't have
those.
to. You don't have to.
No, that's up to you. Why are you
don't
wearing a
No,
leotard
I thought
now?
you just had to dress up. You really get into it, into the spirit of things.
It's amazing that you befriended a scammer, right? That's going to be a great show, so we won't give too much more away. The idea, though, if you had a friend who's a scammer, forget about you befriending him. He's friends. Like what? Your group of friends. What do they do? Oh, one's a teacher, one's a doctor. What's that one do? He's a scammer.
He's a scammer.
I would have thought that's a deal breaker. I mean, what do you do there?
I think it was new and it was sort of unfolding. They were just finding out at the time that, all
Was it a
these lies.
Was it a lockdown glow up?
It was a lockdown glow up.
Right.
Yeah, it was. It absolutely
Oh, look,
was.
He's an innovator, that's for sure. That's for sure. Now, what's this about kayaking? Talk to us about that.
So I've convinced myself I'm an outdoors gal now.
Yeah.
So I really want a kayak. I desperately want a kayak.
Well, you know that Dino is your man.
Mate, over summer, randomly, 10 of our mates, probably both of our mates.
I know, because I saw this on Instagram and I was like, didn't get the call, no worries.
We just bought inflatable kayaks, right? These Intex ones. It cost a couple of hunch.
They're great.
Okay.
The whole summer, I was just on the Yarra, including in the middle of the city. I rode up to, what's that floating bar called, Jack Charles?
Arbery.
Harbury. 6 of us canoed up to that and sang happy birthday to our friend.
Yeah, I love that.
Do you
That's
need
so
a special
good.
license for
Look,
a watercraft?
I don't think so, Swanee. The whole summer I didn't get busted by the fuzz.
Yeah, I don't think you do. I went on the go boats on the Yarra. I'll spend a lot of time toot on the go boat, like captain of the boat, and that was what got me into the kayaks. Because my partner Tim, he's a kayaker, he's a country boy. So Christmas, Tangambalanga, we went kayaking and I had the best time of my life. And I was like, I'm just going to retire and kayak. It's so good. Can you send me a kayak? Pay big kayak. Shoot us a kayak.
Maybe get your scammer mate to send you one. He's got reformers.
Is it possible that you can fall out, though? Because
No,
if it is possible,
Swan.
then I will.
It is possible, but
You can.
you'd have to almost try.
How do you get in and out of the kayak?
Just mild upper body strength. Mild. You'll be fine.
Okay.
And then we got all this Yarra. It's an untapped resource.
Mild.
It's amazing.
You don't fall out, you fly away, Swanee. Some of the things, some experience Dino has
don't know.
leading into it.
Michelle, I'm very hesitant to bring this up because I don't trust some of our people that work here. But it says here that you're in a fire,
Yeah.
and the only item you chose to save was your box set of Veronica Mars DVDs.
Yeah, well, I needed to learn how to be a detective for when I was going to be scammed.
So I love that that's what you grabbed on the way out of a burning building. But what I've never seen an episode of Veronica Mars. How would you describe?
Neither have I.
Now, how would you describe that show to me?
Okay, it's about like a young teenage girl who is kind of Harriet the Spy, but contemporary in the 90s. So her dad is a private investigator and she's really good at it. It's Kristen Bell. She's got a dog called Backup. He's a staffy. 5 stars.
Back up.
And the dad
One of the great dog names.
That is a great
So
name.
good, isn't it?
The dad is the bald guy from Just Shoot Me, the photographer.
Enrico Colantini.
Fantastic show.
All right,
a
I'm
name.
in. I like that I asked you what, and you just reeled off that premise. I love it.
That sounds like a cocktail featuring vermouth.
Absolutely.
That actor's name. What is his name again?
I'll take an Enrico Colantini.
Yes, thank you. On the rocks.
Shaken, not stirred.
Where's
Yeah.
hey, what venue? Where are you? This
Arts Centre.
Arts Centre.
Yeah, a bit fancy.
Oh,
A little bit
pardon me.
fancy.
Well, the whole thing, the main room at the Arts Centre.
I'm in the Fairfax. I've got a band and everything.
What?
Yeah, I've got a band.
Hey, you got like Brownie's new show on Saturday
Yeah,
night on
got a
Fox 3.
band.
They've got a band.
Yeah.
How
It's
many,
not a David Letterman show, is it?
how many piece band, Michelle?
3-piece.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Will you be getting on any of the instruments at all, or just singing out a couple of numbers?
I'll be singing. I'll play my loop pedal. I always use my loop pedal, so I lay on my vocals. But I'm going to get all the band to sing now.
Great.
And I also Yamaha gave me a trombone. I put a call out for a trombone and Yamaha gave me a trombone, so I'm going to play that for about 1 bar.
Good on you, Yamaha.
Praise
That
every.
kayak.
Sorry, yes.
That kayak will be arriving very shortly. You seem to just put things out in the world and they end up in your lap.
Every minute of your shows are wonderful. If you're going to the comedy festival, don't know what to see, type in Reform at comedyfestival.com.au. Love you, mate.
Love you.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
Sad weekend, the passing of Shane Warne. Saturday morning, you thought it was one of those hoax stories almost. Just couldn't believe it. 52 years old, seemed healthy. Unfortunately, he passed away over in Thailand. Obviously, everyone would have heard the news. I knew Warney pretty well. Not super close to him, but a lot of people knew him well, and a lot of stories have come out over the weekend. You see, yesterday in the Sunday Cricket League here in Melbourne, you were only allowed to bowl leg spinners.
Really? Well, that is amazing.
Yeah.
But also, people forget, Swanee, that before Warney, leg spinning was a dying art. It was so, he just made it into something that now, youngsters would come up and they'd try to bowl leg spin. But before that, it was just fast bowling. That was it.
So why did he bring it back?
He was just good at it.
Right.
So traditionally, leg spinning, Swanee, is the hardest art form in cricket. That's why there's hardly any of them. And that's why they say, stop trying to look for the next Shane Warne, because there'll never be another Shane Warne. The art of leg spinning is just too difficult. So what happened in the 80s? Everyone wanted to be a fast bowler because they wanted to be like Dennis Lilly.
Right.
Including Shane Warne. That's why he wore the gold chains.
Yes.
Like Dennis Lilly, who was his idol.
Hey, he also wanted to play for the Saints. Up until he was 18, he was like dead set on being a footy player.
Like you, Brownie. You had to choose, but you were torn between two lovers.
Absolutely. Well, I loved cricket probably partly because of Warney. I loved Warney being a Victorian. I didn't want to be a leg spinner, but there was a period when I got injured as a fast bowler, and I thought, I might have a crack at this. I was a left arm Chinaman though, because I was a lefty, Swanee, and a left arm Chinaman is a.
That's what they used to call that.
Okay.
That's a left arm leg.
A left arm leg spinner is called a Chinaman.
That's what.
Is it though now?
I don't know.
No, it still is. It still is. It still is. Absolutely. So that would be there, Swanee. It's okay. Trust me, it's okay. Even to the
I don't
point
want you
where
to get in trouble.
Even to the point where they would put it up on the TV screen.
He
was devastated he got cut from the footy team.
He played under 19. Didn't he play under 19 for St Kilda?
Absolutely. He wanted to play, but he was too fat and too slow. Self-described as too fat and too slow to make it. So he took up leg spinning, Swanee, and became an absolute superstar. He was as passionate about AFL and his St Kilda Saints as he was about cricket.
Yes.
To the point where on Friday nights, if St Kilda were ever playing, and they were underperforming, you would get bombarded by text messages from SK Warne about some of his analysis of how his team was going and some of the individuals within that team.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
You should have read them out, Brad. That would have been fun.
It was so tempting to halftime analysis. You think I could just get by just reading text messages from Warney here. Now there'd be a few deflated egos from the Saints players.
Swanee,
fantastic.
I don't know if you saw, but last week, it just happened. Glenn Robbins appeared on front bar and was telling some stories. So him and Warney were quite close. Warney loved.
Went on a lot of golf trips together.
Warney loved Glenn, and reciprocated. But Warney, remember, had a year off due to a diuretic, and it was suspended for a year.
That's right.
Glenn told this story. Do you know how he was banned from all cricket venues? He was banned from clubs. He was banned from all facilities and all sorts of stuff. Do you know that during that year, he would grab Glenn and he would bowl to Glenn in the nets. So that's how Warney kept sharp that year off, by bowling to a comedian who doesn't play cricket. And Glenn Robbins just said it was the most. You talk about Warney passing was surreal. Well, Glennie would say he was in the nets just facing Shane Warne as Warney
That is
was
amazing.
Warney was just keeping himself sharp for a year by bowling to Glenn.
Well, tell you what, Warney would have come back full of confidence after just bowling to Uncle Arthur for the last 12 months.
Did you ever face him or anything like that?
No, I didn't. But I've been in the nets, and you could listen to. So he's The sound of the ball had a distinctive noise to it.
Fizz.
It had a fizz, a loud fizz, because of the amount of spin that he would impart onto
That's
the
cool.
ball.
Yeah. That's my favourite little nugget that's come out.
Absolutely.
I love that it made a sound.
Yeah. The best sledge he had, Daryl Cullinan, famously a South African batsman for South Africa. He didn't mean to say it, but accidentally said in an interview, I've been seeing a sports psychologist so I can handle Shane Warne. Well, obviously that was printed. Warney had a bit of fun with that. And next time he played him, said, I'm going to be sending you back to that couch. And what colour was that couch? And this bloke, he just terrorised this bloke. But I remember once at the MCG, Chrissie Johnson, my old premiership teammate, texted me last night and said, remember the day at the MCG when we were trying to get Warney? So we went to the Boxing Day test up in the Ponsford stand. We'd had a few. We'd just won our first premiership Swanee in 2001. I was there with me and Chrissie Johnson and a couple of unknown battlers in the resis you would never have heard about, and we're trying to get Warney just to give us a wave, just carrying on the typical bogan sort of behaviour. And then after a few hours, he wouldn't give us a wave, Warney. I thought, no, Warney's not a man of the people. And then a guy came up to us, said, yell out, give us a wave, twisties. And that won't work anyway. So we give it a go. Give us a wave, twisties. He turned around straight away, gave us a wave, and he started laughing with Gilly. So I never got to the bottom of the story. Why he knew twisties, or I don't know whether he liked twisties or whatever it was.
Who doesn't like twisties?
Who doesn't love twisties?
Cheese,
especially chicken ones.
Chicken.
No,
he would have been a cheese twisting man for sure.
So anyway, Warney, great man. He'll be forever missed, won't he? It's still hard to believe, but Victoria's greatest cricketer and one of Australia's greatest cricketers of all time. R.I.P. Varley, great man.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
Good morning, Melbourne. Welcome to your Monday. Brownie's going to get out in the garden today.
Beautiful day for it.
Yes.
We've got a lot of
Sorry,
tomatoes.
That's what we're starting with, is it? That's the big
He's
start. Of the
taking
week.
it
What are you
easy. He's
today?
doing a bit of self-care.
Well, I've got tomatoes and basil.
Is everything
Christine kindly said to me that she's happy to make some tomato sauce or bolognese sauce for me.
I will.
Sam, what would you like out of my garden?
Avocados. How are the avocados? Oh,
No, not good.
Not good.
What?
I might have lost the avos.
I always.
It's been a bit dry. And
Also,
that
we
looks a bit
live
sick.
in Melbourne.
But
I just
why
feel
would
like
they-
it
why
was
would
never
they
going to
work?
work.
Hold on. What's the thing that this garden, this something you're very very proud of? What have you said? There's basil, and what else are you getting?
Heaps of tomatoes, yeah, heaps.
Out of that big garden with
Herbs.
all those things that you planted, that's all you got. That's all you
I
reaped.
know, Swanee said, can you give me some... Give me
Tomatoes,
a heap of tomatoes and basil and I'll make you a sauce.
And I'll make you a Napoli sauce.
Nothing else. Nothing else. Everything else just done. Just nothing.
I got some kumquats.
What do you do with
got
them?
some figs.
Well, you could hand them over.
Yeah, figs are not quite ripe yet.
Oh,
Yeah, perfect. No worries. Sounds like a cracking garden.
Plums and peaches, nectarine. It wasn't a great spring, so they didn't sort of pollinate.
You just concrete that whole thing, mate.
It's a great
That's
chat. It's a great chat.
Great chat.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
How about some tropical stuff?
I've got there's plenty, by the way. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Warney, as I'm sure many people are. But if you're the latest the news is that the family has accepted an offer of a state funeral, and also the Great Southern Stand at the MCG is set to be named the SK Warne Stand. So that's a couple of
pretty
nice.
Two fitting honours,
I
absolutely.
don't know. There's not much more to say other than it was just very, very sad and, like you said, Swanee, very, very surreal on the weekend. That will continue on, I would have thought, for however long. The other thing is I said earlier that tributes, the man transcended sport. Cricketing royalty obviously have paid respects. Border, Ponting, Gilchrist, McGrath, Viv Richards, Ian Botham, Sachin Tendulkar, beloved in all cricketing countries. Mm-hmm. But then also, Prime Ministers of Australia and the UK, Ed Sheeran, Stephen Fry, Mick Jagger, and of course, Elizabeth Hurley, his former fiancée, Swanee.
And her son had a very moving tribute.
Very moving. Rest in peace, my beloved Lionheart. I feel like a sun has gone behind a cloud forever.
Mark Knight did some great cartoons as well, so on Lionheart. Mark Knight, the great cartoon artist, I suppose, for the Herald Sun. He had about 8 warning cartoons over the journey, and they showed them on Saturday's Herald Sun. And one of them was when England were on the march and with the Ashes, and he had this great cartoon of this massive lion baring its teeth. So the only thing standing between them is had Warney in the middle of the pitch, standing there with a gasper.
The Barmy Army Swanee had a lot of fun with Warney over the years. Even, by the way, sometimes he was playing and there was lots of going on off the field and they were pretty brutal. But they actually just said in the end, we just wished he was English.
Yes, of course.
And also, I just wanted to put that people talk about the ball of the century, right? Which, if you're watching the news or watching tributes over the weekend, to get to see that ball of the century, this is his first ever ball against England in an Ashes series in 1993 at Old Trafford, Swanee. If you watch this ball, you cannot believe what it does. It's the most magnificent ball you've ever seen. It pitches outside leg stump and hits the top of off stump. And this batsman at the time, Mike Gatting, sorry to get too boring, who was traditionally known as a great player of spin, was bamboozled and walked off the pitch with, I don't know what's just happened.
It's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Warney spoke about that the night before. He knew he was going to bowl in his first ever Ashes series. He couldn't sleep, so he just sat in his hotel room to smoke gaspers all night.
Wow.
Wow. All right.
Good prep.
Good prep, kids.
By the way, there's still a war going on, and Sting has posted video of himself singing his 1985 song, Russians. Dino, do you remember?
We share the same biology, regardless of ideology. Believe me when I say to you, I hope the
Is that him now?
Russians love their children.
That is
his voice hasn't aged.
That's the video that he posted of himself singing that 1985 song. That's him singing now, though, saying that that song is more relevant than ever due to the war in Ukraine. In something a bit more relatable, Drake's dropped $250,000 on a UFC fight.
There you go, right?
No, he dropped it. He bet that Jorge Masvidal. I don't watch. I'm not into. I'm not into the kick fighting, so I don't really know what's going on there. But he bet that Masvidal would defeat Covington, and unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Covington won in the unanimous decision. So he may have dropped a little bit of coin there, Drake. Let's hope he's.
I know when that hotline blink, that can only mean one thing.
This is, I've had to, pay the proper respect.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting.
And the war. This is the story I actually wanted to get to. If I see a headline that says, because you've seen the new Batman, haven't you?
Twice over the weekend.
Yeah, so is my son.
Why twice?
Why'd you see it twice?
I had to leave Friday because I was falling asleep. It was real late. It was good. It wasn't a reflection on the movie, but then I saw it Sunday. It's off the hook.
What's Robert Pattinson like as Batman?
He's brooding but perfect.
Yeah, Leo said the same. Loved it.
Well, the headline, Eddie Murphy and Bill Murray were once nearly cast as Batman and Robin. Come on.
That is astonishing.
Wow.
Come on.
Jeez, that would have been amazing.
How?
This is Bill Murray has said, this is quoted from Murray. So Ivan Reitman was going to be the director, and he was eyeing up the roles. And Murray says, I talked to Eddie Murphy about it, and Eddie wanted to play Batman. And that's as far as the conversation went. Okay, so not really that close.
No.
Do you want to see what this looks like? Well, get the visuals on Instagram. Follow Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Prepare to have your mind blown.
Mystic Chrissie.
Why do I see Grease, the movie, around you?
It was on last night.
It was on, and I did watch it.
Jesus, what's wrong with you?
When you go to the movies, Anna, you really resent having to pay so much for popcorn.
Everyone does.
That was a disgrace, that one. That's like saying, I've got a feeling that you don't like getting into car accidents, Anna.
What will she predict next?
Where is she? There she is.
Alison from Kalorama, come in, spinner.
Good morning.
Now, you've got to know that I'm on fire today. I'm feeling really inspired.
That's awesome.
There's 3 kids around you.
Oh, yes, there are, but you're missing one.
There's definitely 3. There's 4 in the end, but
Yes, that's right.
there's 3 to 4.
Yep, perfect. Yep, there is.
They're all under 20.
Yes. Yes.
Whoa.
Come on, that's
bold.
good.
Whoa.
It's not.
When you go out for breakfast, you order, Alison, the Eggs Benedict.
No, I don't. Sorry.
The person you're with often does, though. There's Eggs Benedict on a table in front of you.
Not that I've noticed. Sorry.
There is, but she's not eating it.
It's the next table.
Yeah, well, I've not looked at it anyway, yep.
Leigh Matthews on the table beside her, eating it.
Oh.
Why do I hear the theme from Beverly Hills 90210?
Wasn't a fan, Chrissie, sorry. No.
That must be why, because people your age,
Right.
you know, are kind of fans.
She was a Melrose Place girl.
No, not that either. Sorry. No.
Sorry, it's not Mr. Brownie. You are not allergic to cow's milk.
True, that is true. I'm not allergic. Very good. Yep.
Okay.
You don't drink a huge amount of coffee, though, Alison.
No, don't drink it at all, Chrissie.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
Alison, you don't sound like much fun, to be honest. What do you actually, you don't watch Beverly Hills 90210, you don't drink coffee?
No, sorry.
Snore.
Lukewarm at
What
best.
else am I getting? You like your bed sheets to be white.
Yes, my sheets are white at the moment.
Whoa.
Very true. Yes.
Yes, and you
like white bed sheets.
there's lots of different colours
Lots
you
of
can
people.
get, Pangy.
I would have
Yeah,
thought
absolutely.
a lighter shade of bedsheet, though, is more common.
No,
No?
no,
Yeah, probably, but.
Really? Lots of
no.
Nah.
black bed sheets?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Stains appear more clearly on black ones, apparently. I don't know.
But there are plenty of colours. There are plenty of colours to
Just
get.
saying.
But if you like
There
white
are.
ones, you like white
Just
ones.
saying.
Like it's absolutely,
True.
you know,
True.
a non-negotiable. For example, I never sleep on anything that's not a white sheet.
What about you,
Ever.
Brownie? What is this?
And it's got to be 100% cotton.
Better nails? You're in the old school.
I'm a flanny man.
What is
Flannel
what colour sheets are on the spare bed?
Bang!
Hey
I'm
down.
not sure. Ask Carls. Bang!
All right, back to Mr.
Mystic,
Chrissy.
our socks are still on. Blow
Alison.
them off. Blow our socks off.
Alison,
I'm in bug.
Yes.
I see a Suzuki around you.
No. We have 4 cars in our house, but no Suzuki, sorry.
But have you ever driven a Suzuki?
No, I haven't.
You ever seen
one? Well, yes, I've seen one,
There you
Sam.
go.
Why
Yes.
do I hear beep beep Barina?
No.
You're having a shocker today.
This is the worst ever.
At your wedding, oh, hang on, were you married?
Yes.
You got
yes.
you went. So you did have a wedding. You
Yep.
didn't do that thing where you stuff cake in each other's faces.
No.
No, you
Gosh,
didn't do that.
No,
No.
we didn't do
I
that.
can't remember
no.
doing that.
All right.
I've never seen that at a wedding.
I have, and I don't like it.
No.
What about the garter?
You
husband pulled
you
the
want to read more books?
Right. Yes. I have a book club.
You were off reading for a while, but now you're back into it. Real good.
Very true, Christy. Well done.
Whoa!
Spot on. I started a book club for my 50th, and we're still going strong. Yes. Well done.
Huge.
I love the way
Do you wanna-
Christine raises
May
the
I-
eyebrows when she finally nails one.
No. Mate, Alison, what's the book that the book club's reading at the moment?
We're reading The Breeder's Choice. I was in the back seat. Sorry, I can't remember the title.
up.
But
That's all right,
no.
mate.
The library gives us our books, so I don't remember the titles every month.
May
but
I-
Just finished Life in Football.
I was going to say, may I recommend Jonathan Brown's Life in Football? And much like a library, we've got lots and lots of copies here at the station.
you
if
do. I heard that the other week, and I thought, I should search the op shops as well for a copy, huh?
Would you like one, Alison?
Sold out.
Would you like one?
Sure, sounds great.
Alison, you're a size 39 shoe,
Whoa.
and
Close, yes.
you like Glenn Robbins.
Absolutely love him. He's always on our house. My children love him as well.
How did
That's
she do
very
it?
true.
And you make an amazing chicken parmigiana.
Not my signature dish, but I'm sure I could. Yes,
stretch.
no worries.
Mystic, it's been a rough week.
What
It
about
hasn't
that's-
been great.
Shoe size is 39. What about a hat size for Alison? Is it a
44.
Big box. No, it's a big box, I reckon. I reckon about 60.
She's got to hit the
60.
She's got to hit the size of doubles.
Alison, I've just got the last one.
Yes?
I've got the last one.
All right.
When you're at a function and Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive comes on, you are like a moth to a flame on that dance floor.
Absolutely. Any song, Chrissie, I'm on that dance floor. For
Any
sure.
song.
Any song.
But especially that one, Chrissie, I'll give you that. Especially that one. Yeah.
Alison, you're not helping me.
Mister,
You've had a
Sorry.
shocker.
you've had a shocker. But do you reckon there's one hit in you, or do we just...
I just had heaps of hits.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
no, I'm sure that's.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how you see it.
A $200 makeout meal voucher for you, Alison. This is pretty cool. From restaurants like Entrecote, Mamacita, Easy Peasy. You put them together at home. Makeout meals are incredible.
That's awesome.
Your mind has been read, I guess.
Yes, it has.
you.
Absolutely.
Nova. Chrissie Swan, Sam Pang, and Jonathan Brown.
Chrissy's Celebrity Stuff.
We're handing over celebrity stuff today to one of my favourite women, Leigh Sales. She joins us now. Sales.
Back at you, Swan.
Now, you were a huge fan of the late, I can't even believe I'm saying that, Shane Warne.
I know. It's so hard to fathom, isn't it, that somebody with such an incredible life force is gone.
Yeah. What were your interactions with him over the journey?
Well, when I started hosting 7:30 on the ABC in 2011, I had one person at the top of my interview wish list, and it was Shane Warne. And everyone would always go, what? Out of everyone on the planet, you want to interview Warney? And I just felt like, he was obviously an amazing and important cricketer in history, but he was also just a very kind of singular Australian cultural figure. And I felt like, with the exception of one interview that Michael Parkinson did when Warney retired, that he'd never really had a serious sit-down, in-depth TV interview where he was treated, just sort of as the big figure that he deserved to be. He was sort of sometimes treated a bit like a buffoon, which I just thought was wrong. So we tried for years and years to get him, and he didn't know. I think maybe Dave Hughes and Kate Langbrook asked him once on air, like, would he do an interview with me? Because I'd publicly said he was number one on my list. And he was like, who's Leigh Sales? He didn't know who I was. He wasn't, didn't really see what was in it for him. And then he wrote a memoir in 2018 and finally agreed to do an interview. And so we did this huge kind of 40-minute sit-down that we ran in 2 parts, and he was just absolutely amazing.
And that interview, Leigh, is being repeated tonight on the ABC. And were you, after waiting 7 years, were you happy with how it went?
Oh, it's one of my all-time favourites. And, from the second he sat down, I said, Shane, nice to meet you. And he said, nice to be met. And I just thought, this is going to be absolute gold. And it really was. I don't think I've ever interviewed somebody who was just so open and honest. And he was just massively entertaining as well. And I think, as well as the stuff about his life, his personal life, he explained cricket and his approach to cricket just incredibly well, and the way that he would get inside people's heads and, all that kind of stuff. It was just riveting.
Leigh, I liked it when he mentioned that if a batsman would slog one of his balls, like just smack it for 4 or 6, Warney would act like he almost just got him out to mess with the batsman.
Yeah, and the batsman would be, they'd absolutely smash him, and Warney would go, oh, that was close. And then Kevin Peterson, who used to be the captain of England, said you'd be kind of infuriated because you'd be like, oh, this little brat, I just smashed him for 6. But it would plant this seed of doubt in your head, like, what, was I nearly out? Like, was that narrow? And so he was just an absolute master at rattling people. The other thing that was amazing when I was prepping for that interview, I was watching lots of shots of Warney bowling, and there's this classic thing that you see so many batsmen do where, they're suddenly bowled, they tell from the crowd reaction and from the other players they've been bowled out, but they just can't believe it because last time they saw the ball, it was on the far left-hand side of the pitch, and then, it's the far right wicket that's kind of gone. And so you see this thing where they whip their heads around really fast and then they turn back and look almost like befuddled, like what just happened to me there?
Leigh, I think in this country, obviously, we realise his fame, but we probably didn't appreciate his fame worldwide, especially in England.
Oh, yeah. Very, very famous cricket player. There was a beautiful anecdote on the weekend told by one of his mates when Warney was in New York and he jumped in a cab and it was a Pakistani driver. And the Pakistani driver was like, oh, my God, I cannot believe Shane Warne is in my cab. And then Warney was playing some kind of charity thing. And then by the time he got out of the cab, he'd organised for the driver to get a couple of tickets and the driver was crying. And, yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Did he keep in touch with you over the last few years after that interview?
Well, funnily enough, I had a book come out about a month after Warney's, and it was with the same publisher. And we used to have this competition running where we'd be attempting to see who could sign the most books the fastest, because you'd have to go out to Booktopia and sign like 1,000 copies. So we had this thing going, like, I got my 1,000 done in, 1 hour and 45 minutes. Warney be like, oh, I got mine in 1 hour 43. So this kind of competitive thing going on.
Leigh, before we let you go, we haven't had a chance to speak to you since you announced you're stepping down as the host of 7:30. Why are you cutting and running?
Look, it's just time after 12 years. I need a break. And, my kids who are now 10 and 8, they've only ever known their mum at work 4 nights a week. And, they're kind of hitting an age where I think they'd like me to be home before 8:30 every night. So, yeah, it's just time. It's a great job. I absolutely love it. But, it's just, time to retire, as they say in the cricket world.
Brownie, that time at home with your family, Leigh, I think it'll wear thin very, very quickly.
Overrated, Leigh.
Have you got someone who should replace? Overrated. Who should replace you, Leigh?
I don't know, actually. It's kind of a wide open field. I mean, look, there's a tradition of redheads because it was Kerry O'Brien and then me. So, I mean, probably has to be Fatty Borton, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Playing golf with him on Saturday morning, I'll ask him.
I'd watch that show, Leigh.
Leigh
Thanks,
Sales,
Leigh Sales.
we love you. And
Thanks, guys.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
we love this guy.
Lloyd Langford, a comedian who you may have seen on Have You Been Paying Attention with Sam? And now it's Chrissie's turn as he's on Would I Lie to You, which is on tonight at 8:45pm on 10 and on 10 Play On Demand. And see Dilf at the Town Hall from March 31. Tickets at comedyfestival.com.au. Here's Lloyd.
So much to discuss with the gorgeous Lloyd Langford. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We had so much fun on set of Would I Lie to You for tonight's episode. Husey, Abby Chatfield, you and Melissa Leong. Was it as fun for you as it was for me, Lloyd?
It was a blast, though Melissa Leong made some very hurtful comments about me
Did she?
that I'm still recovering from.
What? Give us a hint.
She doesn't strike me as that sort of person.
She was savage. She was sharp like one of her knives. Does she use knives?
Why did you...
Yeah.
Why does she... why do you think you rubbed her up the wrong way?
Well, I think she said that I just didn't strike her as being a very dynamic person.
Yeah, well,
you know me well.
Mate, it's just full on. When I always think of you as dynamic and, if anything, too much energy sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I love that. I love
like a
that.
coiled spring.
Swan, did Leong just not get Lloyd?
I can't remember, honestly.
Good.
I can't remember. I'll be watching tonight at 8:45 to see if she does that.
I've brought you a gift, Sam.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep.
What is it?
He doesn't need those. He gets given them.
No. Firstly, let Lloyd tell everyone what the gift is.
I was doing an interview at a rival radio station.
Which one?
Triple M.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they had a claw machine that was free to use, full of golfing equipment. And I thought, I know someone that likes golf.
Yeah.
So I won you these 3 balls.
From Triple M.
But they are Triple M branded, so you might have to, you might have to
Are
scrub.
they?
They're tailor-made balls, Brownie. You want to tell Lloyd? Give him the news.
They are the TP5s, the best golf ball on the market at the moment. But me and Sam receive probably about 500 of them per season.
But not Triple M branded though. So these are worth. I really do appreciate it. But also the idea that you thought of me.
Yeah, and you get the 500 balls from sponsorship, but I gave those 3 balls with love.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
you've
good.
earned them through skill.
Mind you,
Thank you, mate.
Sam does need them because recently he asked me, he said, have you got any balls, big fella? I'm out.
I lose them a lot.
You
Why
lose
don't
a lot of balls.
Why aren't you keeping them yourself? You're not a golfer.
I play crazy golf, but they frown upon bringing your own balls.
What's crazy golf?
Like mini golf.
Oh, mini golf. Lloyd, so much to talk about. How's your beautiful partner, Anne Edmonds?
She is tired,
Yeah.
but happy.
How old is your daughter Gwen now?
I don't know.
You say thinking somewhere between 4 and 6 months?
Yeah, around that. I'm not going to recognise her age until she's 1.
Fair enough.
So at the moment she's 0.
Fair enough.
She's 0.
Anything surprising about fatherhood, Lloyd?
Through no fault of my own, I have ended up on the mothers group WhatsApp.
Jeez, that must be fun.
Tedious.
Wow.
Fun.
Are they?
There was a mothers group meet-up that Anne couldn't do because I think she was like down the Porkies or something. And I had to do it. And then I got added to the WhatsApp group. And now it's just me and like 20 mums.
Did you have to go and meet them at a cafe?
We met at a park. I've done a Zoom with them. And now they're like, they're like chatting on the group and I just have nothing to add. So they'll be like, oh, do you know that like taking like fenugreek helps with like breast milk production? And I'm like, yeah, fenugreek also a great ingredient in a butter chicken.
Yes. It's almost essential.
Great horse too.
Yes.
Has it changed you, mate? Has it changed your fatherhood?
I think I'm a lot happier.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
The baby now has started like smiling and laughing, and first of all, for the first couple of months, it's just like a sentient ham,
Yes.
not really doing much.
Sentient ham.
But now
There's a baby being described as that.
That is so true, though, isn't it?
now there's personality shining through.
Who does she look like?
Unfortunately,
She's a cute baby.
you don't want a baby looking a woman baby looking like me.
That's in general. When they go, well, she looks like her mother. You go, yeah. No father wants their daughter to look like them.
Well, no, I'm not
that, don't you?
saying you look like Liv looks exactly like you, Brownie.
Oh, yeah. That's a compliment, Liv.
Identical, but I'm not saying she looks like a man. I'm saying she's got Brownie's features.
Yeah, Liv's happy.
Very handsome.
Liv's happy looking like a father who's had 16 facial operations. You think Liv's happy with that?
This is not how I first looked, Sam.
That's true. Hey, mate, what about Comedy Festival not far away? We've been enjoying talking to comedians coming in, and
My favourite time of the year. I can't wait.
yeah, that's when they're fully formed. We've been catching up with comedians, and they seem to be at different states of how prepared their comedy festival show is.
Who's in trouble?
Everyone.
Let's talk about that.
Dave
Almost-
O'Neill?
Dave O'Neill he goes, it's an all-new show.
And then he rolls his
He
eyes.
rolls his eyes away from the
O'Neill would
mic.
be the one I'd be worried about. I don't think he's even got a title for his show yet, but he'll have one by, how's yours going?
I've been previewing in various different places: Brisbane, Adelaide, Brunswick Heads, which was interesting. I did a show there. Yep. I was heckled for an hour by a drunk man.
Oh, God, how tedious.
Then some baby boomers in the front row that were just making their own jokes and just having the time of their life. And then 45 minutes in, an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Brunswick Heads, yeah. Brunswick Heads, that whole audience would have been anti-vax, wouldn't it?
Well, the anti-vaxxer started heckling me, and then the drunk guy started defending her honour.
oh my God.
And he was like, you can't talk to her like this. And I was like, mate, if anyone's going to decide how someone is spoken to, it is not you.
So you had to handle it? You had to handle it all up there, mate?
I had to handle it entirely on my own because it's a wonderful venue, but it is entirely staffed by pensioner volunteers.
Oh my God.
I would have loved to have seen that.
Oh, me too.
So they cannot steam in.
No.
There would have been a lot of fake vax certificates there too.
Lloyd's show will sell out, so if you want some free ones, 13, 24, 10. The comedy festival's coming up, but would I lie to you? 8:45 tonight.
Catch him tonight. He's so funny
Also,
on
I
the
just
show.
want to
So
say,
funny.
too, that the Comedy Festival show is called DILF.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the first
that
joke.
stand?
It's the first joke of the show.
Mate, bang.
I can't remember what it stands for.
I don't know what it stands for.
Someone,
either.
please. Anyone remember? Ash Gardner? No.
No idea.
Sure.
It starts with dogs with Ash. Hey, what about I just wanted to say too, if you haven't seen him, he's on tonight on Would I Lie to You?
Yes, he is. 8:45, Channel 10.
And if out of it,
Steals the show.
Steals the show.
Mm-hmm.
He makes 2 appearances this year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he guessed to make 2
He only
appearances.
guessed.
There you go.
Lloyd, you're the best. See you later, man.
Thank you.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Melbourne, good morning. Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Over 100.
Went to the movies yesterday. Went and saw the new kids film, Bad Guys. It's very good. On the way home, turned on to looked at the time and I thought, it's time for the weekend breakfast with Peter Grubby Stubbs. So I had a car full of kids in
What is
the old Kia
wrong with
Carnivale,
you?
and I said, "Be quiet, kids. We're listening to the Sunday roast with Peter Grubby Stubbs."
Wow.
And imagine my surprise and delight when I heard this.
You're going to introduce your special guest.
Well, hang on, my special guest, Sam Pang, for some reason, is in the studio right now.
Sam Pang.
Hello,
Good
Grub.
afternoon to you.
Good
Welcome to the
afternoon,
weekend
Grub.
break.
Thank you. Oh, it's wonderful to be here.
There you go. You know what? You know what's great? Just to work with someone I got a bit of chemistry with, and someone, a professional broadcaster.
Can I tell you, you've made an old man very happy. I've never heard a happier old man
Than Grubby.
than Peter Grubby Stubbs
What are you
having
talking about?
you in that studio. Are you joking?
Well,
Listen,
A special guest, Sam Pang. Thanks, Sam, for coming in. I thought I'd make you feel comfortable by playing a little bit of Ed Sheeran there. And
Grub, you thanked me 14 times in 12 minutes.
you know what?
Don't thank me again.
I'm grateful.
It's an honour to be here.
I'm grateful.
Mate.
he's so great.
He's up and about, Grubby.
yeah, he was a lovely man, and obviously an absolute legend of the industry. And I was very, very, very happy to be there. And
Done time with Grubby.
haven't you?
I have.
Big Sydney Swans man.
Is he?
Yeah. He's
He's a lovely guy. Lovely guy. Peter Grubby Stubbs.
I wonder if I need to put it in context why I was even there.
No one cares.
No one does.
Your mates with Big Johnny, who's on there as well.
Yeah,
the
so
other voice.
my friend John Araglasso, who works on the front bar and is a very, very good bro. He does a segment on that show, and it was his last
On the Sunday roast.
on the Sunday roast,
Grubby.
and it was the last for his last segment because the footy's coming back.
Yeah.
So that show's finishing up for the summer or for the winter, I suppose, and then
You were
I
the
just came
grand
in.
finale. You were the special guest grand finale.
Well, it was wonderful to be there.
They took some calls.
What?
Rob, good afternoon to you.
I just want to say I'm a massive fan of Sam, and he's. I just think he's a shoo-in for the goal Logie this year. If he ever get it, he will. It'll be this year.
In fairness, well, I did laugh out loud at one of your insults to your friend John Araglasso, who you've known for decades,
What
and
insult?
did play football with him. They got onto the topic of, how they knew each other and they played football together many years ago. And Grubby said, "Oh, what sort of player were you, John?" And John says to Sam, "Will you play with me? Think of, what sort of player was I?" And Sam goes, "Well, I would say that you were punctual."
He was never late. That's what you want out of a footballer, Johnny.
Not how I'd like to be-
Courageous,
not how I'd like to be
agile,
described as a footballer.
brave.
Very punctual.
Well,
Never missed them. Always
punctual.
early for a meeting.
Hey, Swanee, by the
Made
way,
me laugh out loud.
it never occurred to me that Sam Pang is definitely going to win the Gold Logie this year.
Definitely going to win it.
Wonderful! And you'll sing this.
Yeah.
Never been nominated and won't be nominated.
Bull.
Do you
Well,
want
that's
some
fine.
more? Do you want some more little
Yes.
grabs
Jesus, what did you-
of our turncoat, Sam Pang, appearing on a rival station?
Dog.
Hey,
I mean, I don't even know what was playing here.
Yeah.
Replays of Smallsy's surgery. And do you think that he listens to us on the way into work?
I listened to Ross and Russell on the way into the studio.
yeah, like
Yes.
mate, I was
Good
in
gear.
enemy Swanee. I was in enemy territory, and I knew who was listening.
Keeping him sweet.
Exactly. Yes.
Give him a little tickle, mate. Well done.
Yeah, as we said earlier, they did take some calls, including this one.
Annette, good afternoon to you.
Yes, good afternoon, gentlemen and Sam. I'm just wanting to say I very rarely listen to the radio on the weekend and love the weekend show, but I will say today's been a little bit disappointing, and it may be due to your guest you have with you. So,
Good on you, Annette.
Gentleman and Sam.
Why is your mum calling in?
Exactly. Bang.
Bang.
And it was it didn't make any sense at all. I rarely listen to the radio on the weekend, but I love the weekend. Like, what are you talking
She
about?
loves the normal Sunday roast with Peter Grubby Stubbs. She normally loves it, but you ruined it for her.
Ruined it,
like
Sam.
bad gravy on the roast.
Lumpy.
And this was a weird moment too, because I was driving around Prahran and, you know, with an AM, I don't know how much AM radio you listen to, but with the tram lines overhead, it's like, it's so bad you've got to take side streets just so you can listen.
It's amazing that still happens.
Yeah.
I agree. So I was back alley sallying the whole way home and I barely heard this, but it was very surreal with that different quality of AM radio to hear this. Our sign off on 3AW. Grubby gets nervous.
It's going a bit fun now.
It's going a bit fun
We'd
now.
like to be generous here, but I don't think we're that generous.
Thanks to Mark and Carl. They
Anyway, it was.
They played the intro.
They played the intro. Yeah, it was
that's
really
pretty cool.
fun.
I had a wonderful time, and that hour just flew by.
Except for Annette. Annette crashed the car.
Annette was a bit flat, to be honest.
Their studio's flasher than ours.
Well, that wouldn't be hard.
That's
would
not
it?
hard. Oh my God.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Ripper Show will be back tomorrow. Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Oh, unless it's a weekend.
Relive 100.